When we were growing up, we all had the evils of peer pressure drilled into us. We were taught that coercion from our friends was coming, and it was an unavoidable part of growing up, especially when it came to trying drugs or alcohol for the first time. While most of us can recall a time when we were offered something we probably shouldn't try or pressured to do something risky, for the most part, saying no is usually enough. The video is all about peer pressure, what it is, and how to help our children navigate the complex demands of social interaction. If this is your first time here, make sure to turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on our regular updates every Thursday. Now let's jump straight in. At some point or another, you'll notice your children preferring the company of kids their own age as opposed to hanging out with you. There's no need to take it personally. Teenagers naturally gravitate away from their parents as they grow up. Seeking autonomy and independence is absolutely a normal part of adolescence. As this dynamic changes, your teenagers' peers will become one of the most important relationships they have. In fact, their friends will overtake you as their biggest source of social and emotional support. While this is a crucial transition, the attitudes, morals, and maturity of your teens' friends can have both a positive and negative influence on their development. What is peer pressure? In this circumstance, peer pressure refers to the influence that friends, peers, and classmates have on the way our teen thinks and acts. Peer pressure can come in many different forms. Sometimes their peers may proactively influence them to behave in certain ways. We call this direct peer pressure. This type of peer pressure is normally behavior-centric. It's spontaneous, and it puts your teen in a position of having to make an on-the-spot decision. Examples of direct peer pressure include when one teen offers another an alcoholic drink, or makes a sexual advance, or encourages someone to shoplift. Other times, our teen may just be following along due to an implied or indirect peer pressure. Indirect peer pressure is subtle and not always obvious, but can still exert a strong influence on a naive and impressionable youth. While direct pressure is targeted and deliberate, with indirect peer pressure, no one necessarily asks someone to do anything. It's the unspoken pressure and the desire to fit in that leads our teens to certain behaviors. Examples of indirect peer pressure can include when a teen overhears gossip about another person and then treats that person differently as a result. Alternatively, if your child begins experimenting with drugs and alcohol in order to be invited to house parties with the popular kids, this is another indirect way our teens can be influenced by their peers. Both of these forms are based on seeking approval. But it's also possible for peer pressure to be a result of bullying. Being teased or assaulted for not conforming is one of the darker forms of peer pressure. How can we teach our kids to resist negative peer pressure? It's important for us to teach our kids how to spot peer pressure and recognize the many different forms it can come in. Here are a few practical tips and long-term strategies towards building confident teenagers that can make their own decisions. Teach your children that it's okay to say no, especially if they feel uncomfortable or rushed into making a decision they aren't sure of. Be open and relatable about your own experiences with peer pressure, and be honest. Tell them of a time you resisted and a time where you gave in to peer pressure. Discuss the lessons you learned and what you would have done differently if you had the chance. Teach your teen the principle of personal boundaries. Explain that if a friend does not respect these boundaries, they aren't a good friend at all. Give them increased freedoms balanced with increased responsibilities. Show them you've got faith in their ability to make decisions. Encourage your kids to do a range of activities and meet new people. Having different friends of circles in different settings can take the pressure off trying to fit in with a single friendship group. Show interest in getting to know their friends. Invite their friends over for dinner or just to hang out with your kids in your own home. Keep the lines of communication open. Let your kids know you're always there to talk to them about what's happening in their life. If they're concerned about a friend who engages in risky behavior, they may come to you, and it's important that you're ready to listen. Discuss the risks involved in underage drinking, smoking cigarettes, unplanned or unprotected sex, and using drugs. Teach them how these risky behaviors can have serious consequences on their future. At the same time, it's important not to be too demanding or controlling. Strict parents raise rebel teens after all. Come up with a plan so they can get out of uncomfortable situations. For example, before attending a party, you might both agree that they'll text you to pick them up if they feel like they need to leave. Above all else, teach your teen that they're the master of their own decisions. While they're free to make choices for themselves, they aren't free from the consequences that follow. Parents can be the strongest positive influence in their child's life if they're aware of the types of peer pressure their teenagers facing. Supporting their healthy friendships, being an example of responsible behavior, and keeping an open, judgment-free family dialogue are three key components of maintaining positive parental influence on a teenager. If you found this video helpful, please click on the like button and share with anyone you may think can benefit from this information. Until next time, thank you for watching.